All right, good morning, good morning. Sorry, let me take my shoes off. Welcome to Wednesday morning. My name is Kat, and I'll be guiding you through this practice. Just a few announcements. Our classes are all live streamed at 9 a.m. We still have our classes outdoors. This is a perfect day to be outdoors. It's amazing, perfect temperature. So take advantage of it while you can. Whether you come join us at Victory Field or watch us via the live stream, it's really wonderful to be able to have this kind of connection. Even take your computer, your phone, bring it outside. I think it's going to be this interesting decompression time for us to come together. And we're all going to go through this period of weirdness. And I think as long as we're all safe and we all do it in a very smart way, we can still come together and form that community. So we hope you join us any way that you can. If you feel compelled, please feel free. You can always share any kind of donations to Mystic Fitness. We still have awesome face masks that we would love to be able to send out to you as well, that are made from our fabulous teacher, Mary Beth. So we all come together to do what we can. So let's get ourselves into a comfortable position. Good morning. Whether you're seated or you choose to be lying down on your back, just find a position that feels really comfortable for you. And I want to encourage you to let the eyes close. And just giving yourself a few sighing breaths. Notice what it feels like for you to let go. Let go of any of the stories that you tell about yourself, that you tell about the world. See if there's a way that you can find freedom in this present moment. You might notice the temperature against your skin. If you're outside practicing, the warmth of the sun on our face. What is there to take in around you? Sounds, smells, sensations are all there for us at a moment's notice when we start to draw inwards. It allows for our awareness to radiate outwards, to reflect upon the external forces that are all around us and how it impacts us internally. Allow for your jaw to become soft, maybe creating some space between your teeth or your lips. The muscles in the face become really slack, really heavy. Noticing the shoulders. Sending the awareness down through your hands. Notice if the palms of the hands are gripping or if they're soft. Going down through the belly, let it be soft. The hips, the legs, down to the toes. So our practice is just to become aware of what it is that we do. How we move through this space. Notice the natural breath as it enters in through the nostrils, making its journey. And what it feels like to be so tuned into the release, the surrender. I want to encourage you to slowly start to lengthen the breath. What does it feel like for you to let go of the confinement of the belly. Sometimes we don't realize how much we hold things in. I want you to let it all go. Let the body be soft. It doesn't matter what we look like if we're not feeling good from the inside out. So start to encourage just that inner awareness. What does it feel like to breathe all the way to the top of the collarbone? What does it feel like to let it go? Just giving yourself a few more rounds of breath. Notice how the world shifts and moves around you. The beauty of this moment is that we're here. We're here to enjoy it. So how do we find this enjoyment, this appreciation? Give yourself one more deep breath in. This time, as you exhale, open up your mouth and just let it go. Take 2 more deep breaths in. And let the breath go. And 1 more deep breath in. And out. And we'll slowly take our time. We're going to make our way onto our backs. So if you are seated, I encourage you to maybe keep your eyes closed. Notice how, once I give you the next position to go into, how do you move your body? Sometimes we rush so far to the next thing that we forget about the transition. As we move into this lying position on our back, hug those knees into the chest, circle out the ankles. You might even choose to let those knees rock from side to side, opening up the knees. You might even find a breaststroking action. See what it feels like to just listen to the primal needs without this idea of trying to create anything. You're just experiencing this moment, experiencing the breath, any tension in the body. You might even bring the feet down to the ground and let the knees just rock from side to side, moving in this very gingerly-like fashion. See if you can indulge in the senses. And we'll gently come into center. You're going to take your right knee, bring it into the chest, coming into wind-removing pose, interlacing your hands on top of the shin. As an option, the left foot can be on the ground or can be extended down if that feels best for you. And just let the knee rock from side to side. So a lot of times, especially if we've come into postures that we're very familiar with, we go into that one place, that habit place. And I want to encourage you to just rock, to move, to notice how sensations develop within the body. And then you're just gently going to let that right knee open up to the right side. It's not in a tree. It's just this flopping open to the right side. The left hip is going to come off the ground. Notice if the back needs a little bit more spaciousness in it. And it's good. There's movement within our joints. As an option, bring the right hand under the right knee and straighten the right leg to the right side. See what that feels like. If that doesn't feel good for you, for whatever reason, you can always rebend the knee. It can feel like a better place. Soften the jaw, and if you didn't rebend, bend that right knee now and bring that leg up to the sky. We're then gonna bend that right knee, let the left hand grab onto it, and let it cross over to the left side, finding a twist. And if you need to have the knees in a different position, either stacked or anything that feels best for you, you go for it. As an option, if you want, you can straighten the right leg to the left side. You can use the left hand to anchor underneath the knee for a little additional support. I'm always one where a little gentle bouncing can help to open up the tension within the muscles, especially as we slept last night. We do interesting things when we sleep. So it's good for us to kind of work through those kinks. Gently come back to center. And then we're going to extend the right leg up to the sky, interlacing the hands behind the right leg, finding our hamstring stretch. You might circle out the ankle, wiggle the toes. Maybe you even look up at the toes. Give a little bit of appreciation for all they do. Our feet, you know, they just move, they go. And sometimes we forget. You can either hard flex the foot or you can be soft with the toes. Notice the difference between the two. And then you pick for yourself. And that's kind of what life is all about. We notice where we put ourselves, the positions we put ourselves in. And then we mindfully move ourselves away from that if it doesn't serve us, or towards it if it feels good for our bodies. We become an active participant within our own life. Take a deep breath in and straighten the left leg if it's not already. And then slowly release the leg down. Right leg comes down next to the left. Notice the length that maybe you've created on that right side. Observe. Take a deep breath in. Let it go. We'll slowly bring that left knee into the chest. If you interlace your hands on top of that left shin, I want to encourage you to do it the weird way. You know what I'm talking about. Switch those fingers. This is great compression. If you find yourself on the computer a lot, squeezing into those knuckles is really good for helping to get that new surge of blood flow, to get a little bit of stimulation within the joints, within the muscles. And maybe you might straighten that right leg if that feels good for you. Trying to pull the right hip away from the left. Seems like a little bit of an oxymoron, but we can create a little bit of space there. Up in the sky right now, there are these like little falling leaves that are so high up, and it's just so pretty. Allow for the left knee to drop open to the left side. And again, you might choose to bring the left hand underneath the knee to support it. And again, that right hip can come up if that feels good for you. If you want to start to straighten that left leg, see what it feels like for you. Maybe that feels like the place you want to go. The extended lever can also add additional pressure on the knee. So just notice if that feels right for you today. Is that the tonic for your body? And we'll gently bend the knee, and we're going to just cross it all the way over to the right side, bringing right hand on top of the knee, finding whatever twist feels best for you. Either knee stack, knee stagger, or it's just that left knee coming up and over. As we twist to the side, you might notice that left shoulder lifting up really high. It might feel okay for you. If it doesn't, you can bring that left arm closer into the body or just wiggle those shoulders into a better place. As another option, you can bring the right hand under the left knee and extend the left leg over to the right side of the body. That's a big stretch going down the outer hip on the left side, all the way down to the outer heel, the calf. And then we'll slowly bend the knee on your inhale. Come on back with the back to the mat. And then on the exhale, extend the left leg up to the sky. Wiggling the toes, bending and straightening the knee if that feels right for you. Again, notice what it feels like on that leg. Relax the shoulders. Notice how much work the rest of the body is doing as we're just stretching the hamstring. The jaw, the neck, the shoulders. Give yourself one deep breath in right here. And on your exhale, release the leg down. Hopefully both legs are the same length or close to it. Slowly extending the right or both arms up above the body. Take a deep breath in right here, circling out the wrists, wiggling toes. And then on your exhale, we're going to hug the knees into the chest, lift head, shoulders. Hands can go towards the shins. On your inhale, extend the arms, extend the legs. And on your exhale, you're going to curl the knees into the chest, grab onto the shins, lift head, shoulders. Now, as an option, as you extend, you might come to a hover with the arms and the legs, or you can bring them down to the ground. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale to extend. See if you can draw the abs in rather than pushing them out. And exhale to extend. And we're going to go 3 more times. Inhale. Exhale to squeeze it in. And 2 more times. Open. Press the tongue into the roof of your mouth if you find that neck doing too much work. And last time. Inhale to extend. And exhale. Squeeze it in. Relax the head down to the mat. Keep your knees lifted. And we're coming into a reverse tabletop position. So heels, knees, hips, everything is at 90 degrees. Your feet are away from your glutes. Your hands are going to come to the front of your thighs. I want you to push the palms of your hands into your thighs, and then I want you to push your thighs back into the palms of your hands. I want you to press that lower back into the mat. Relax the jaw and shoulders. Now we're pressing as much as we can for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Keep pressing that lower back into the mat. And 1. Hug those knees into the chest. So if you find that the chin is being lifted or there's a lot of stress within the neck, you can always bring your head onto a block. It can feel like a better place for you. We're going to do that again. Coming into our reverse tabletop position, hands are going to come towards the thighs. Push hands into the thighs, thighs into the hands. Keep pressing that lower back into the mat. Relax the face. Notice how much effort you're putting into this. And breathe. Notice what happens to our breath when we're in a place of challenge. When we're in a place where we're digging deeper. Notice if the jaw is clenching. How much can you press that lower back in, drawing abs in? For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hugging those knees in towards the chest, maybe letting them circle out and around a few times. And then bring your hands behind the back of the knee pits. We're going to rock forwards and backwards a few times. If that doesn't feel good for you, you can come up any way that feels right for you. As we come up into our easy sit, Sukhasana, we're going to bring our hands to our heart space and gently bowing our chin. Notice the breath. Notice the shift of perspective from being on our backs to seated. Notice the jaw, how the heart beats for us. May we always stay connected, to stay grounded. May we use our breath to link us to this present moment where life is happening. May we find compassion for the world around us, but especially the world within us. If there's anything else you'd like to add to yourself for this practice, feel free to send that out into the world. Take a deep breath in and out. Bringing your hands to the ground, we're going to let those knees go back, coming into our tabletop position. As we come into tabletop, notice what it feels like, pressure on the hands, on the knees, and we'll find our way into our cats and cows. So slowly lifting that tailbone up to the sky. You might wiggle it around, letting the chest open, the head lift up if that feels good for you. And on your exhale, tucking the pelvis around the back, push it up to the sky. Inhale, tailbone lifts and the chest opens. And exhale to round. And just finding a few more cats and cows. And as you find your cats and cows, notice if the shoulders can relax away from the ears, if you need some movement within the neck, the head, the shoulders, or a wiggling of the tailbone. Even shifting forwards and backwards in this cat and cow can reveal so much about our bodies. It can reveal so much about our backs. And just finding one more full breath, inhaling and exhaling. Letting your hips press back towards your heels, coming into your child's pose. The arms can extend as far forward as it feels comfortable for you. And you can open up those knees as wide as you need to. Big toes might touch or might not. If this feels aggressive for the knees or any part of the body, I encourage you to offer support. So if the knees hurt, I want you to give either a blanket or a pillow, wedge it right between the backs of the knees. That can feel really nice. You know, sometimes we take props and we think it's an easy way out, when in reality, it's just meeting us where we are, our breath, our bodies. Slowly taking your hands, and we're going to reach them, walk them over to the right side of your mat. Letting that left hand walk a little bit farther forward. Take a deep breath in and try to draw that left shoulder down. Notice what that feels like. Come into it from a softer place so we're not just bullying our body. Take a deep breath in and out. Coming back to center and then walking the hands over to the left. That right hand can press firmly down into the mat, down into the earth. See if you can track that right shoulder down while softening the jaw. Soften the space around your eyes. Take a deep breath in right here and out. And coming back into center and pressing ourselves up. Tabletop position. We're going to take that right foot, step it to the back of your mat. Notice if you need to wiggle the hips. What's the body saying to you today? Each day is a different story, I feel like. Lift up that right foot at hip height, and sometimes we need to listen to it. On your exhale, we're going to curl the knee into the chest and round the back. Inhale, extend the leg. Now as you exhale this time, you're going to bend your elbows. Chest is going to come down halfway, and then we're going to press back up. Knee comes into the chest, round the back. Extend the leg, bend the elbows, inhale, press up. Knee into chest, round the back, extend the leg, bend the arms, and press up. One more time. Knee into chest, round the back, extend the leg, bend the arms, and press up. Now, you're going to take that right foot. It's going to go to the back of your mat with the arch down. We're going to come into a side plank modification. Right arm up to the sky. Left knee is still down. As an option, you can extend that right arm to the front of your mat. Tuck the pelvis. Breathe into it. Take a deep breath in. And on your exhale, release the right hand down. Release the right knee down. We're going to do this on the opposite side. So take that left foot, bring it to the back of your mat. And then we're going to lift up that foot at hip height. Notice how much core activation you have in this position. Press the body away from the hands so we're not dumping into the wrists. Take a deep breath in. And on your exhale, curl the knee into the chest, round the back, look down towards the navel point. Inhale, extend the leg. Now as you exhale, draw those elbows towards the ribs. Chest is going between the hands. And then press up. Knee into chest, round the back. Extend. Bend the arms. And press up. 3 more times. Knee goes into the chest. Extend, bend the arms, and press up. Last two. Knee into chest. Get as dramatic as you can with these motions. Extend. Bend the arms and press up. Last time. Know that you're in control this whole time. So how much awareness do you need to bring into it? Down and up. Now drop the arch of the left foot to the back of your mat. The left arm is going to go up to the sky. Feeling the opening from that left outer hip. As an option, you can extend that left arm towards the front of your mat. Take a deep breath in. And on your exhale, release left hand, left knee down. Walk your hands one handprint forward. Start to circle out the hips, the ribs, the shoulders. You can do forwards, backwards presses, moving in to any place that might need a little bit more lubrication. So listen to the body, close your eyes, give yourself 3 breaths, switching directions, trying something new. And this whole time, just connecting into the most important thing that you can do, and that's the connection you have with yourself. What's going on with you today? Last breath. Now coming into center, high five the ground with your 2 hands, tuck the toes and press those hips back and up, down dog. Pedal out the feet. Maybe there's that movement that happens within the hips. You might even want to lift those heels up super high. Shaking out the head, yes and no. Maybe the feet open wider to the wide sides of your mat, and notice how that can feel a little bit more compassionate for the back of the legs. Give yourself one more deep breath in and out. Inhale, bending the knees, looking forward. We're going to walk our feet towards the front of our mat. As we come into our forward fold, you might bend the elbows, bend those knees, bring the elbows to the thighs, to the knees, shaking out the head, yes and no. Finding movement within the neck if that feels right for you. And if that starts to feel really quite lovely on the body and you want more, you can come into ragdoll position, grabbing onto opposite elbows, letting the torso rock from side to side. Give yourself one more breath. And then bending the knees, hands to thighs, tuck chin to chest. We're going to roll up to standing on your inhale, stretching the arms up to the sky. And exhale, right hand down. Left hand is going to shoot up and over to the right side. Pressing into that left leg, tuck the pelvis. Inhale, torso comes up, arms reach up. Exhale, left hand down, right hand stretches up and over. Root down into that right leg. Inhale, arms up. Now as you exhale, twist the torso to the right. So the arms are twisting to the right or the left. 50-50 shot. We're going to get the next time. Inhale up. Center with the torso. Exhale, twist open to the left. Inhale, come up to center. One more time, twist to the right. One more time. Inhale, open up. And exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, coming up to center. Let the hands come together and bring them behind the back of the head. Bend your knees, tuck the pelvis, and lean the upper body back into the hands. Take a deep breath in as we find this maybe mini back bend or big back bend, whatever feels right for your body today. Breathe all the way to the top of the heart space. Soften the jaw. On your inhale, reach those arms up to the sky. Exhale, sink into your chair. Inhale, stand up tall, squeeze up, squeeze those quads. Exhale, chair. So as we find this moving chair up and down, breathing, I want you to notice what happens within our body. Can you really link the breath and the motion together? The breath is not an afterthought. It's actually what propels us. And it doesn't matter the speed I go, the speed you go. What matters is you're moving in an authentic way. So maybe you close your eyes. Then no one can see you, right? It's just you and this movement. 2 more times. How much can you take out of it? Last time. Inhale, reach up tall. Exhale, sink down. Pausing here for a second. Relax the shoulders, press into the heels and the balls of the feet. Notice how much there is for you to take in. Maybe you're looking down. Maybe there's a soft focus, or maybe your eyes are closed. See if you can get a little tuck to the pelvis, drawing those abs in. On your inhale, reach the arms forward. On your exhale, hinge forward, forward fold. Hands to your shins, come into your halfway lift. Flattening the back, crown of the head reaches away from the hips. And on your exhale, hands down to the earth. Inhale, the left leg is going to go to the back of your mat. As it goes to the back of your mat, you always have the option to release that left knee down if you choose to. Now, hands on block, squeeze them in towards each other, like 2 magnets. Notice what happens. Oh, I like that. The water bottle is a perfect size for it, and it's probably better for your hand too. That's a good idea. I love that. Take a deep breath in, and on your exhale, lengthen the front leg. It's not a total straighten, it's just this idea of creating length. Inhale to bend. And exhale to lengthen. And 2 more times. Inhale to bend. And exhale to lengthen. And 1 more time. Inhale to bend. And as you lengthen this time, pause here for a second. Maybe bringing the head towards the right knee if that feels good. Wiggle the hips a little bit. This is a very wide Parashvattanasana. The back heel's lifted. We're just listening to the body. Maybe you can shift a little bit forwards, backwards, see what that feels like. Now on your next inhale, I want you to bend the right knee, anchor into the left hand on the earth. Exhale, right arm stretches up to the sky, finding your twist. What happened to the attention on the legs? Squeeze those inner thighs together. Take a deep breath in, broaden the chest. As you exhale, right hand comes down to the ground. If you have blocks, separate them, hands down to the mat. And then step that right foot to the back of your mat, plank. Pausing here in plank, squeeze the quads. If you're on your toes, open up the feet a little bit more. It can be a little bit softer on the body. Or you can always come down to knees if you want. Take 1 more deep breath in and out. On an inhale, knees to earth. As you exhale, come down for the count of 5. So elbows skim to the ribs. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I want you to keep the hands under shoulders, squeeze the glutes. Inhale, head, shoulders lift off the mat. There's a slight tuck to the pelvis. And on your exhale, release head, neck, shoulders down. We're going to do it 1 more time. So squeeze your glutes, anchor in through that pubic bone. Inhale, lift head, shoulders off the mat. Create length within the back of the neck. And exhale to release down. Inhale, push up, tabletop position. Exhale, down dog. Pedal the feet. Shake out the head, yes and no. Give yourself 1 more deep breath in and out. Bending those knees. Inhale, walk, hop, or step your feet to the front of your mat, forward fold. You know, as we move our body, pausing here, you might come into ragdoll. I always like to think of my body as being like cold dough. If you ever have cold dough and you try to stretch it too fast, a lot of times it can rip, it does weird things. So we just have to knead our body, both with the K and with the N, right? Bring your hands to the thighs, tuck chin to chest on your inhale. Exhale, roll to come up. Inhale, arms sweep up to the sky. Exhale, hands come to our heart space. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, sink into your chair. Inhale, stand up tall, squeeze everything up at the top, and exhale, chair. I like the claps at the top. I like it. So like we get to high five ourselves. We might not be able to high five anyone else right now, but we can high five ourselves. I like that. High five. And sink down. So how much more energy can you put into it? Squeeze, lift, grow. And imagine as you inhale, you're sniffing maybe coffee first thing in the morning. It's one of my favorite smells last time. All the way up, sink down. Pausing here at the bottom. Coffee is, of all the things, coffee is not that bad, right? Yeah. So I want you to lengthen that tailbone, press into the lower back, draw the shoulders away from the ears, soften the jaw. Take one more deep breath in. And on your exhale, hinge forward, forward fold. Hands to your shins, halfway lift, flat in the back, wiggle that tailbone, create space, be playful. And as you exhale, hands to the earth. Inhale, step that right foot to the back of your mat, hands to blocks. Draw those hips down. Before we find motion and movement, what happens with the body? So as an option, that right knee can come down, and it can still be done on the knee with doing that lengthening. And you can still do that squeezing in, right knee or back leg to that front heel, squeeze them in. Notice what that feels like for you. How much more power can we add in? And is that the tonic that your body calls for today? Sometimes the answer is yes. Many times the answer is no. You know, we just have to listen to what our body needs. Now take a deep breath in, and on your exhale, lengthen the front leg. Inhale to bend, and exhale to lengthen. And 2 more times, bending into that front knee. Notice the dipping down of the right. As you exhale, hips draw up and that front leg straightens. Last time to bend, and then we lengthen. Pausing here in this lengthened position, maybe the head comes down towards that left knee. You might flex the left ankle, the toes, or you might be soft. What happens on one side might not happen on the other. So we have to imagine that every position we come into is an experience. There's not the expectation. Now inhale, bend into the left knee. We are going to bring our right hand underneath the shoulder with a blocker knot on the inhale, and on your exhale, lengthen the left arm up to the sky. Reach it up. Squeeze those inner thighs together. Maybe lift the corners of your mouth. Just test it out. See what it feels like. Broaden that left pectoral muscle up to the sky. Take a deep breath in. And on your exhale, release it down. Move the blocks. Step that left foot to the back of your mat. Finding your plank, squeeze the quads. Take a deep breath in and out. Now inhale, release the right elbow and then the left elbow down to the ground. Coming into your forearm plank, we're going to shift forwards and backwards for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come into center. Now release just the legs down. Come into your Sphinx. As we come into Sphinx, those elbows are underneath the shoulders. We're trying to press those elbows down. Crown of the head is lifting up. Squeeze the quads, protect the lower back. So you can pull in to that pubic bone to help protect. Take a deep breath in and out. Let your hands come together, elbows out and come down. Use the hands as a pillow as you relax the head down onto the ground. Bend your knees, windshield wiper feet side to side. Maybe you circle out the ankles. Finding a little bit of spaciousness within the back, the quads. Give yourself one more deep breath in and out. Relax those legs down. Inhale, press up, tabletop. Exhale, tuck the toes down, dog. Pedal out the feet. Get the feet together at the back of your mat, and we're gonna slowly lift on an inhale that right leg up to the sky. As an option, you can stack the right hip on top of left. And so what I've been thinking about recently isn't as much of a stack, it's more of just trying to lift that right hip higher. See what happens. On your inhale, straighten out the hips and reach that right leg up to the sky. On your exhale, hug the right knee into the chest, roll forward, three-legged plank. Inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, three-legged plank. One more time, inhale, up. Exhale, three-legged plank, and then place that right foot to the front of your mat. Squeezing into the legs, we're gonna lift up to our crescent lunge. So as we move from transition to transition, notice how the body adapts, and it does. So with all the chaos going on around us, we adapt, we shift, we move. Inhale, straighten the front leg, reach the arms up. Exhale, squeeze the fist, draw them down, bend the knees. Inhale, up. Exhale, bend everything. Inhale, up. And exhale down. Last time. Stay down low, stay in this goalpost position. Take a deep breath in. On your exhale, twist to that front knee, right knee. Yeah, just a slight twist, see what it feels like. Arms can stay bent or they can open, it's all good. Yeah, inhale, come back to center. Now reach those arms back, broaden the chest. Start to hinge forward at a 45-degree angle. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Look down to those right toes. Relax the tension that they hold on to. And we're going to come up to our airplane/warrior 3. So as you shift forward slowly, start to allow for the abs to draw in, and then that left leg lifts up. From the top of the head down to the bottom of that left foot, we're in one line. Bend the right knee a lot more, press back into that right glute. Take a deep breath in. And on your exhale, we're going to step back into our warrior 2. Left foot back in the mat, arms sweep open. Look down to the right toes, left toes. Move your body any way that feels right for you. So instead of trying to push your body into the posture, let the posture work for you. We're going to take that left hand. On your inhale, sweep it down. Reach over to the right. On your exhale, pull it back. Inhale, left hand comes down, sweeps over to the right. Exhale, pull it back. So this archer strings, the golden arrow. The idea is, think about that in archery. That moment of loosing your arrow has a lot of anxiety. Like that's the moment. And we come into it from a very soft place with just awareness. How do we use the anxiety around us? How do we use that energy? Last time, that's up to you, my friends. And pull it back. Now let that left hand go behind the back. Right arm faces up. Reach it up, reversing your warrior. Rebend that right knee. A lot of times we lose that bend. And then look down to the left toes. Does that change your lower back? Many times it does. Inhale, come on back to our warrior 2, reaching those arms. And then dial the right hand down to the thigh. The left hand is going to come down to the mat, forward and up to the sky. Circling it out, if you want to choose to bend and straighten the right leg. I personally love doing things like this because it gives me the opportunity to see what my body actually does, what my knees are doing, what direction they're going in, and it makes it feel good. You know, finding an opening of the body doesn't have to be stressful. Now the next time you have your right knee bent, bring the right hand inside, left arm sweeps up to the sky. Soften the face. Maybe turn your face to the sun. Close your eyes. Notice how the lights dance behind. What does it feel like to just be in this moment? Relax the toes. Tuck the pelvis, draw the abs in. Inhale, torso comes up. Now straighten the right leg, dial the toes to the left side of your mat. Open up the chest, lift the corners of your mouth. Exhale, hinge forward, lead with the heart. Head, neck, shoulders. And then as you do this, you might choose to do those side-to-side bends. Or you might choose to not do them. So the wild thing about life is that this life is truly what we make out of it. The craziness I notice is how we all see the same things, but we interpret it so much differently. And that, a lot of it comes into what preys upon our fears, our anxieties, our anticipation for our future. It's hard for us to step back to be that observer, to practice non-attachment for the moment. You know, at the end of the day, I have to think we all want the same things. Health, happiness, protection, love, security. We've just been faced with different challenges in our life. Come into center, both legs straight. Just shift from toes to heels a few times. And that's why it's hard for us to walk in someone else's shoes, because we can't fit. We just don't know. Bending those knees, we're going to lift up to standing. As we lift up to standing, all toes are going to face the front of your mat. Inhale, the arms sweep up to the sky. And exhale, hands down. Step that right foot back to meet the left. You can either come straight into down dog, or if you want to do that chaturanga flow, feel free. Take a deep breath in and plank. Exhale, high plank to low plank, halfway down or all the way down. Flip the feet. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And then exhale to your down dog. Take a deep breath in and sigh it out. Make some noise. Get your feet together at the back of your mat. Inhale, let the left leg reach up to the sky. And then see what it feels like. Let that left hip lift higher than the right. What does that feel like to you? How do you interpret that? Inhale, neutralize the hips. And on your exhale, curl the left knee into the chest. Roll forward, three-legged plank. Inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, three-legged plank. And one more time. Inhale up. Three-legged plank. Step foot to the front of your mat. Find your way. You know we're coming into crescent, so how do you transition into it? I Care Bear stare with all my might. Reaching those arms up to the sky. Relax the jaw. Relax the shoulders. Relax the left toes. They do a lot of work. On your inhale, everything straightens, everything lengthens up to the sky. Exhale, bend everything. Inhale up. And exhale down. Two more times. Lift up. Squeeze everything up. Exhale down. Last time. And down. Make that goalpost position. Maybe soften the fingers. Stay low. Either staying still or twisting open to the left side. Notice that shift of perspective. How does this change our stability? As you inhale, come on back to center. Now let those arms open, broaden the chest. Start to hinge forward at that 45-degree angle. Get active within the feet. Squeeze front foot, back leg in towards each other. Now take your time. It's the hardest thing to do, I promise. When we move slow, it's good. Shift to that left leg, right leg lifts up. When you move slower, your body feels insecure. It does. And that's just a relationship that we work on. Starting to let all of those flutters of the body turn into a smooth out awareness. Take one more deep breath in, maybe bending into that left knee a little bit more. On your exhale, we're going to open up Warrior Two. So as we open up to Warrior Two, right arm, left arm open. Maybe look down to the left toes, the right toes. What happens within your own body? Tune into the breath. We're going to do the archer strings, the golden arrow. So make an L with the left hand and look there. Now that right hand, inhale is going to sweep down, meet the left, squeeze, draw the right elbow back. Inhale down. Exhale, pull it back. Inhale down. Exhale, pull it back. So when we find this stability within our legs, this isometric position, heart rate can go a little faster, body shifts and adjusts. So give it this time to focus in on your breath. How much are you breathing? What is your breath like right now? Last two. And last one, at your own pace. Now take that right hand, half bind behind the back. Left hand, reach it up to the sky, reverse. Relax shoulders away from the ears. Re-bend that left knee as much as it feels good for you. Stack it on top of the ankle. Take a deep breath into the whole left side of the body while relaxing the shoulders. My mantra of the day. Inhale, come on back, Warrior Two. And then drop the left hand down. We're going to find those sweeps. So the right hand comes down like you're throwing compostable glitter. Grab on, or flower petals. Find that inner sass. Movement, fluidity, grace is not a feminine or masculine thing. It's a movement thing. And it feels good to move in this effortless way, to find this deliciousness from within our own bodies, this appreciation. Every time I move that arm, I always have my left hand on my thigh, and I always give it a little squeeze, because I'm always like, yes, legs, you are strong. Thank you. Last time. Now the next time you have that left knee bent, draw left arm inside, right arms up to the sky. Because at the end of the day, if we can't, pat ourselves on the back, it's hard for us to expect that from anyone else. Appreciation has to come from within. Now tuck the pelvis, draw up, coming up, Warrior Two, straightening the left leg, draw the toes to the right side. Now find your five-pointed star. Open up the chest, relax the jaw. What is it like before you fold forward? Be proud of who you are in this moment. On your next exhale, hinge forward. Bow to yourself. Bow to the world around you. Shaking out the head yes or no. If you wanted to find some of those twists, rooting down into one hand and letting the opposite arm flow up to the sky. You do what feels right. Taking another deep breath in and out. And then we'll slowly take our time. We're going to let our toes face the front of your mat. And we're just going to drop down onto our glutes. So releasing the right knee down, usually first, and then the left. Bring your hands behind your back. Broaden the chest, and then just dropping both knees over to the right side. left. It's all good. It's all good, my friend. Then lifting to come up and dropping them over towards the opposite side. There. We're going to do that one more time. And the knees never have to go down all the way. They can find whatever kind of twist feels right for you. And coming into center, releasing all the way down onto your backs. As you release your way all the way onto back, you might hug those knees into the chest. Letting the ankles circle out. Finding any extra moments of breath that feel right for you. Yeah. Do you want to flip around so your head's to the front? Do you want to flip your head to the front? Just like weird. Yeah. Thank you. And just allowing for the legs to release down onto the mat. The palms can face up towards the sky. The legs can open wider. And you can just allow for the body to come into your stillness. Just allowing for there to be permission to let go of whatever happened or maybe didn't happen during practice. Releasing any expectation for the day ahead. Remembering that we're all just humans, creatures, with different stories, with different paths that we've taken. Just making the most out of what we can with what we have. So to all of us, I say mercy. Mercy.
Notice the sun on your face. Notice the breeze. Notice the way you are right now. And maybe throughout this day you can start to allow for there to be just a little bit more of that peace, of that ease. Take a deep breath in and let the breath go. Take another deep breath in and sigh it out. And maybe start to create a little bit of movement from within the body, wiggling fingers and toes. Or you can stay just as you are if that feels best for you. And then, if you would like, either staying where you are or inviting yourself to just roll over onto one side or the other into a fetal position. Notice what it feels like to be cradled, to be supported. And then we'll take our time and we'll press ourselves up, coming into a seated position. Bringing hands into prayer position right at the third eye, bowing down. May we find compassion, especially in the times that we don't understand. May we let love be our language. May we always consider. May we always consider. To ourselves, to see ourselves as we are, we say an inner namaste. And to the class who shares in this practice, who allows for us to have space, we say namaste.